Real Genetic Demon, and this is What's on the Tape, Season 24, Volume 8. So we're almost there, actually. We're almost at the end. I think Volume 10 is not going to be delayed by a week, because I'm on a sort of, well, let's be honest, a stag, not stag, night out. So I think we're going to be a bit delayed on that one, but we never know. We'll see how we go. Anyway, I've got another box this week, and I really want to share this with you, because in this box is an actual Missing in Action ZX Spectrum game. I'll repeat that for a second. A Missing in Action ZX Spectrum game. This game features on the usual, World of Spectrum and Spectrum Computing websites with no details whatsoever, just that it's missing in action. And I have it now. It wasn't hugely expensive. I was tagged into it by the seller, who was then told promptly that it was a Missing in Action. I was tagged into it because I bought another version of it, sort of. I say sort of. Another version of it that didn't include the additional pack that's in here. I'm just cutting this open now. So this kind of special, because I don't think I've ever had a Missing in Action before. I think this is. I thought we had one once. I think we may have had a Pac-Man game that was effectively a Missing in Action. I'm just pulling that back like that. Missing in Action game. I think we had one of those. But it was probably never released. I hope that doesn't knock the camera around while I'm doing that. So my nice Damascus steel knife. I rather like my knife, actually. Damascus steel there, so all the patterning along there, that's caused by a chemical reaction at the end. It's always been quite a handy little pocket knife, that one. Anyway, yes, and legal, by the way, the right length. But only asks. So always good for opening boxes and working in the garden. That's what my grandfather always said they were for. Anyway, let's have a little look in here. So there's going to be a few other games as well, and when we get through the vast quantities of other things, there's a few other games in here as well, which I picked up along the way. I got Jaws. I had to wait quite a while for this. The seller kept on changing the price, until eventually I said, look, this is what I want to pay for it, and he said, yeah, that's fine, because he couldn't get the 128k version to load, because I think one side's 128k. Yeah, the other side's 128k, as it says on there. So he couldn't get that to load. So I've got the budget re-release, but I hadn't got the original game itself. So I'm quite pleased to add that to my collection, because I've been sort of, as I say, in an hour and seen it for a number of occasions with it. Then this one, Killer Ring. I'm not entirely sure what that is, other than a night out from a night out after some curry. But it's Tony Crowther. He's the chap who did Starquake, wasn't he? I think that's who he was. So it looks like a shoot 'em up to me. I like a bit of shoot 'em up action, if you can see that. A little shoot 'em up. I'd say that's a shoot 'em up. Yeah. Shoot everything that moves. Moods do not include family pets except oodles. Well, we probably won't do that. Yeah, Spectrum version. I've not seen that game before. Anyway, that was relatively inexpensive as well. Same, obviously the same person. Now, here we go. Let's start getting into this here. So we have in here two of these. So let's start with the first one. Okay, let's look at this one. So this is Stalingrad by Ken Wright. I'm going to get it out of the wrapping and I'll show you. Sorry, I'm going to have to do it a little bit off camera there. But this is Stalingrad by Ken Wright. It is they basically made these really good strategy games, which have basically got units and movements. It reminds me of a game called Conquest that nobody will have played, but Conquest is pretty much this, and it's basically the various sort of Soviet lines and whatever else. It's Stalingrad the game. So this is the first one. A little crack in the corner there, but not awful. War games that goes with it. Somebody's instructions along the way. Ha! There we go. Look at that. Lancashire tube stock. Excellent morale. Wow, somebody's been taking some serious notes on what they've been doing. Supplying it. There we go, Lancashire tube stock. Taking some serious sort of building things and what they could do. Anyway, but yeah, that's the, and there's backup version on the other side. So one version on one side, one on the other. And that's Stalingrad. So that's the war games element of it. Now, the seller then tagged me into this one. And this is, I'm gonna move the box in a second. This is, let's just move the box. Sorry, this bonks the camera. this is Overlord. Now, Overlord isn't missing in action. What is missing from action is this, the fact that this includes Stalingrad. This is the cover for the one you'll see the cover for this, but not with the sticker on the inside. And it is, and I genuinely, I can feel it through the thing. It's a sticker. This is a combined pack that basically brings in both games at the same time. And Ken Wright, there he is. There's a picture. I'm guessing that's a picture of Ken Wright right there. So a military, possibly a military man himself, or a photographer. What do you think? Don't know the ins and outs of Ken Wright's story, but anyway, a little bit pushed. But this includes both games in the same box. And as I say, I'm not sure what I'm meant to do with this now, but I know for a fact that I should do something. So this, as I say, if you Google it, have a little look, you'll discover that Stalingrad, the combined Overlord with Stalingrad, is actually missing in action. I'm quite impressed by that. Actually, I'm quite pleased. I didn't expect to get it so cheaply, and it's quite nice that this is it. It exists. It's real. They knew it was real to begin with, but it's actually here for us to see. So yeah, missing in action. Overlord, including Stalingrad, by Ken Wright. This is the missing in action game. I'm quite impressed with that. I know it's quite amazing. I don't normally get things like this in my life, but yeah, it's quite exciting. It's quite exciting. I quite like that. There's the graphics for it, of course, down the bottom here. Very much, as I say, tactical movement thing. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm delighted with that. So yeah, that was the original Stalingrad, but this is with it combined in. So that's the original Stalingrad, like that. Anyway, this is what's on the tape. So let's pull out a couple of tapes. We had a lovely selection the other day, didn't we? With that last, was it last the other day? It was last. Yeah, it was last week. 2 boxes in 2 weeks. Wow, you lucky peoples. And we opened up a collection of games from people, and I've decided we're going to go with these ones because they look. There's some of my favourites from the past, and to be fair. Yeah, like I say, my channel, so I'm going to play what I want. Finders Keepers, this is this is the original Mastertronic game with a lovely sort of cover. Magic Knight series, first time they appeared. Raid Over Moscow, that's a really good sort of multi-leveled... Raid Over Moscow, effectively. To be fair, during because of the current conflict, I've kind of avoided doing things like this. But at the end of the day, it's a great game, and I really want to show it, so let's do it. Death Star, this is a Star Wars, but not Star Wars. Mooncrester is an arcade game that's been converted, one of the best conversions out there. Alien, of course, based on, I think this is going to be Alien based on the movie. This is a great strategy game, really good, hard to get nowadays, getting harder and harder to get. Comes with a massive sort of manual, beautiful box. It is and a lovely sort of story of the actual story itself. Really, really good. And then at the bottom there, last one, a white label game. I don't know if I can see it handy. I'm gonna have a look. No, not quite handy. Mr. Freeze, which was one of my early games that I got for my white label from Firebird. So good combination of games here. Good fun to go on. So without further ado, we'll get one of these into a tape drive. Okay, the tape is in the drive, so we'll go down to our favourite, which is Basic, and load it. There we go. Load it, or load speech marks. We're on the side, though, first, of Raid Over Moscow, which, and I do you know something? It's almost like the new back in the 80s about our friends in Moscow, because at the bottom... Oh, that's not a good start. That's already what's on the tape, isn't it? And no wonder there's 2 copies on it, though. There were 2 copies on. I think it doesn't load properly. Anyway, it says at the bottom, US Gold, Access Software. Access, I can't remember who Access were. I think they were American, because I know US Gold weren't. They were UK based, but they basically kept on buying up titles all over the place. There we go. It's going to go for it this time, hopefully. Yeah. Play it like there's no tomorrow, it says as the tagline. Yeah, very depressing. extremely depressing. Let's not be depressed by it. So what we're doing here. So we're kind of based on the titles. All right, let me do the titles for you. Right, let me do the titles for you. We have attacking the basically. I've got to get out of the Strategic Air Command headquarters first. Because we've been alerted to nuclear activity by the Russians. And then we've got to do tactical defence. We've got to defend up against other planes. And then we've got to do an attack run on them. We've got to attack their missile silos and destroy their missile silos. Followed by, and by the way, this person's printed out the entire instructions at the same size to fit in the box. It's amazing. I love it. And then we've got to do the Soviet Defence Centre. We've got to beat that, and that's not going to load. And then we've got inside the reactor, we have to destroy, sabotage, or neutralise the reactor. And then we get a final chapter that tells us how much we've scored along the way. But I can tell you now, this ain't blooming loading. That is not a loading screen we want to see. We'll give it a try. So that's meant to be our cockpit of our plane flying along there. But if this doesn't load, we'll try it. We'll try the second one. Did anybody else play Raid Over Moscow? I quite liked Raid Over Moscow back in the day. It was an odd title for US Gold though, because US Gold was the company that did what I would say were arcade conversions, and Raid Over Moscow isn't an arcade conversion. It's more of a game in its own right with multi-level depth, and yeah, US Gold had a reputation for doing some good stuff and some bad stuff. They were kind of hit and miss, weren't they? I mean, I love the fact it's all American software. It probably wasn't, but you could say that if you imported it, I guess. Don't remember the Americans being very hot on Sinclair computers. I think they had the Timex, didn't they? They had Sinclair Timex, which was slightly different, and then they had something else, didn't they? They had the other Timex one where you could emulate a Spectrum with a cartridge, if I remember rightly. Can't remember what that was. Was that Timex? I think it was, wasn't it? I love the fact that the Spectrum was so well cloned across the world. It really was. It was a fantastically well cloned. Anyway, I've got coffee. I hope you've got a beverage. Oh, I needed that. I really did need that. I woke up this morning. I had a long day yesterday, long day at work, and I woke up this morning and I had to go to the opticians to collect my new reading glasses, because I've been putting it off for years, simply because I think the second time since I got my glasses, the second time my requirement to go to the optician was during COVID, and nobody was doing much during COVID, if you remember. So I don't think I went, and then I forgot about it for another 4 years until now, when I realised I probably needed some reading glasses. Yeah, that was a bad start. Let's try loading it again and see if it goes from the second copy of it. That's the name. That's the person who owned this. We got to. I'm telling you what. We're going to bring them to life for a second. Let me bring the tape here over tape deck, and let's put this in there. Let's bring this voice to life so we can hear them. We can hear the person who played this.
Loading Raid Over Moscow again.
They sound older than I thought they would be. Should we try that again? Hang on. What do you think? Here we go.
Loading Raid Over Moscow again.
That sounds like an old voice to me, that, or is it or an old teenage boy who's everything had dropped, and all of a sudden he got that sort of deep voice. All of a sudden, it was a very similar sort of quite a gruff voice, that one. Right, push the play button. I don't know if I've got a copy of this loitering around that I can load if this one doesn't load. I don't think I do. So I don't think we're going to get much of a. Oh, hang on, I may have it. Brace yourselves. Just in case this doesn't load, I think I've got that. There we go. It hasn't loaded. Right. Okay. Let's fast forward that while I pull this off the shelf. Unbelievably, it's sitting behind me, literally within arm's length. This is the re-release from Americana. Do you remember Americana? They did a few re-releases. bizarrely, do you know what I think as a collector? I don't know about you. I don't know how you feel about this, but my thinking on this was I rather liked it if my cases matched down the sides and on the front the same style. And the thing with Americana is they did this weird thing where they changed the styling of it. Sort of midway through. So Thingy and the Doodads, for instance, which is a fantastic name for a game, has like a barcode on the side and the name and 48K Spectrum. Whereas things like this one that I've got here, I've got like a license plate, Raid, and it wasn't called Raid over Moscow. I think that was to make sure that nobody got offended, actually. Yeah, this was like that. We might actually be in good luck here. I think this is new old stock. I think this is new old stock, It's absolutely immaculate. The tape's, it's like it's come, fresh. Let's give it a go. We'll see what happens. Raid over Moscow. Play it like there's no tomorrow. As squadron leader, you must lead the commandos on a virtual suicide to knock out Soviet launch site. Proceed to the city of Moscow armed with weapons that you can carry. And seek and destroy Moscow Defense Center. There we go. Yeah, this looks really new. This looks like it came out fresh out of Hackett. It probably is a case that it is. And I've probably never loaded it. And it just sits with a very small collection of those Americana ones. There are quite a few. I'm not sure there's many more than 10. What do you think? There's a few that are really hard to get hold of. I think there's like Buffalo Bill and Carnival or something like that. I want to call it that. It's probably not that, but I don't think it's a very small collection of Americana games. And it does annoy me because they're changing the style of the back of the covers of them just sort of halfway through. Just annoys the absolute piss out of me. I mean, I honestly, as somebody who collects something, it's like it just doesn't look right. You put it in a shelf, and yes, I know my shelves aren't particularly tidy, but when they are tidy, they actually try and match them all up, and it just annoys me that this is not like that, and that's the way it's meant to load. I notice it's a longer loader. I can hear it from the way it's doing it. It's not turbo loader. The turbo loader designed to upset every single owner of a ZX Spectrum ever. Loading games shouldn't be the art of praying to the Spectrum. You should not be looking at it and going, please God, please God, please God. It's like Strange Loop. We talk about Strange Loop all the time. Strange Loop, actually, to be fair, we can add Pole Position to that as well. Pole Position, also a turbo loader. In fact, anything by Atari that came in a clamshell and then probably re-released on whatever else is with the turbo loaders on it. Why and what? What were you thinking? What were you thinking? You basically made it hard for owners of the games to actually load their own games. Seriously. Just horrible. Horrible thing to do. So yeah, turbo loaders. I know what it was about. It was about piracy. You didn't want us copying them. I know that. But it didn't mean the owners could play it if they actually bought it. I'm sure I took Strange Loop back, ultimately. I think when I had it, I ultimately took it back. Pretty sure I did the same with Pole Position as well. I loved Road Race, though. That one sort of full released game that was unreleased anywhere other than a magazine. I'm sure it was like Your Sinclair. And they had Road Race. And somebody did a cover for it not that long ago. And it looks fantastic. And I used to love Road Race. It's really simple. All you have to do is drive along the road, overtake people, and just keep going. And the game loop when I was a kid was great. Because I was like racing a race car, overtaking people. And that's all I cared about. And every time I finished the lap, I was like, yes! This is like the early... Do you remember PopCap? Anybody remember PopCap? They were purchased by EA because they were an indie house that made games like Zuma, which is a game where marbles sort of roll towards a central hole. If you match three colours together by shooting from the mouth of a frog, I know this is going to be really hard to describe, but anyway, match three colours, make the balls roll backwards so they don't go down the hole and clear the level by doing so many of it. Anyway, they did that kind of game. What else did they do? They did a number of things, actually. I'll be honest. They did. What else did they do? Spectrum coding by Ocean. So Ocean actually created this. Access Software, Salt Lake City, USA. There we go. It was an American one. Yeah. What was I talking about? I forgot what I was talking about. I can't believe I've forgotten what I was talking about. Just that short length of time. Enemy launch detected. Yeah, I know. Press D for keys. Right, okay. Press D to define the keys. Let's do it. D to define the keys. Left, right, up, down, fire. H for hold. Space and whatever. Yeah, that's fine for me. S to start. Right. What was I saying about the game? Oh, I can't remember. Blooming hate that one. I forget what I'm talking about. Anyway, we'll carry on. Raid over Moscow. That's my name, I think. Commander HFC. That's fine. Enemy launch detected. So, okay. Alright, yeah, I remember this. So I've got to fly up. It's really difficult to remember this. You've got to thrust out the door, and it's got momentum on the Earth. How a plane's got momentum on the Earth? Anybody work that one out? Let's launch. Where's my altitude? How do I pull up? Pull up? Is it fire to pull up? Oh my god, it's one of them. I can't remember what... There we go, altitude is there. I've pulled up. No! I'm out, I think. No. Gotta press spacebar. Yeah, because they're what's it called? VTOL, aren't they? Vertical takeoff and lift. This is such a stupid thing, though. There we go. I'm in the air. What am I? That dot. I'm the dot. I've got to fire the dot. See the dot at the top of the screen? I've got to get that. I've got to... Oh, I'm out. I think I've got to land on their base, don't I? To attack them. I've got 2 aircraft in the air. I think I've got to attack their base, which is here. I think I've got to go and attack that like this. There. Ah! That's really weird. I forgot about that. Sugar. Yeah, I've got to attack their base. Left and right makes you go up left and right and through it. I got to get to the base. And got the missiles. I think we can shoot these things on the ground. Yeah, we can. We can shoot all kinds of stuff. Time to impact. And then we're here. Then we've got to shoot the bases, I think. Can't remember the ins and outs of the thing. Yeah, that's 1 down. That's 2 down. I got shooting you go up and down to shoot in the distance. So we're on target. Stay on target. Let's do... That's it. Perfect. And then this one's a low one, like that. And then we've got to shoot this one through the face. And then we've got it. I like this. I forgot how good it was, actually. On target. Yes. And now I think we go into a marine mode. Oh, we got more to do. That's right. We've got to launch more aircraft. So we got to do this. No, don't do that. What is with the weird flight thing? Honestly, somebody explain that to me. Shit, the door hit me on the way out. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, get off. Hang on. You got... Yeah. I'm gone too high. Ah. Towards the door, right? Yes, we'll go towards the door. And I'll start lifting off. And then we just need to get out. Oh, yeah, well, 1 out. Next. 2 out. No, it's going up. Go down. Crash. Oh my God. Right, I'm gonna go fly my plane in and take out that base now. That's the missile flying over there from the next missile launch site. So if we fly our plane in here, there's the Russians not stopping us at all, just watching. All right, okay. There we go. Oh, I got pierced from behind. That's lovely. Okay. This takeoff thing, by the way, anybody else think this is utterly ridiculous? Oh, crashed into the ground. What am I taking off from that has gravity like this? With no velocity, you're just sliding. It's like there's an ice rink for a hangar bay. Somebody's like, "Yeah, I tell you what, I think we'll add some ice to the hangar bay. It'll improve the pilot's skills and yeah." Honestly, not a single pilot was like, "Yeah, that's a great idea. I tell you what, we'll stick some of these in here. It'll be lovely. Everybody have a great time." Oh my God, it's all over. We have been killed. We are dead. I'll tell you what, it was good fun. I enjoyed that one. It was nice to play that one, actually, especially from a new old stock. Yes. I bet it still has the little chatty bits of paper in it as well, so, you know. I know what I was talking about. I was talking about the changing tapes, wasn't I? The sort of the backs of the tapes and the collector's things. It's just annoying, isn't it? I don't know about anybody else, but I do find it annoying. I know that they've... I'm an Evercade collector, and I know that they changed the Evercade as well. And I'm kind of like, why'd you do that? They changed the red. To be fair, the red was dreadful. Whoever thought that red for the Evercade cartridge was a good idea in the printing point of view should have been taken outside and had a bullet put through the head. I mean, it would have been perfectly reasonable to do so, because I'll be honest, it's rubbish. It's a rubbish way of doing it. I'm going to do load it now for Finders Keepers. But it was rubbish. It looks rubbish, honestly. I know they had an image there. I wonder if it was very early on that they never thought the Evercade was going to be more than, say, half a dozen games, realistically. You know, I say half a dozen games. They already had half a dozen games. I think they maybe thought that the Evercade was not going to be as successful as it has become. And I think because they didn't think it was going to be as successful as it became, they kind of started with a bit crappier covers, you know, reduced quality. It's much better now. I mean, the arcade ones are superb. They're in purple on the outside. That's the main colour for them. The computer game ones are blue, and they look superb, and they highlight the developers. But the original, the old ones, the dark burgundy sort of coloured ones, just aren't as good. And yeah, they redid them recently, but of course that means your collection gets this lovely run of colours, and then it goes from burgundy to slightly redder. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like, why don't we just call it a new series instead? Just trying to pin it in with the whole thing. This is the beauty of I think this is the problem with success sort of things. I mean, I don't know how successful the Americana range was for the Spectrum, but we ended up with these, as I say, ones with barcodes on, which are dreadful. They look crap in your collection. They don't look nice. They've got like the Spectrum name, name of the game. They're not like punchy. You know, the license plate the American Kana had on the original ones. No. Just this ugly barcode sat on the side. I'd say players were the same, but they're not quite the same. They had a style in mind, and then realised that their logo was too small. So I think when they did original Joe Blade, the logo was quite small. The player's logo was quite small on a small cassette tape. It's only a small amount of space to print on. So they changed it and put it down the side a little larger, and I think that was a good move. I don't think as a player's collector you would be too upset. I mean, Codemasters though, masters, and no, that wasn't meant to be a pun, by the way. Absolute masters of knowing where they were. It was like they went to a graphic designer in the first place, or somebody who was going to do the design work, and said, we want to standardise on our budget titles and how do we want to do them. And they're all a blooming same. They've all got the Codemasters logo, well done. They've got the number of it. They've got the computer it's for at the top, and then a little bit of a lovely headline flash of whatever title of the game it is. I mean, even the covers themselves, they're just, you standardise on these things. There's only one company in the world who really gets away with not standardisation, but you still know what it is because of who they are, is Google. Google's one of the few companies in the world that can change their Google logo on a regular basis, and people still know it's Google. That's a real success if you're a company like that. If you could change your logo like you change your underwear, then you've become world number one in that kind of way. And it's so impressive to think about that. Google can do all kinds of logos, and you go to their website and they can do that kind of thing. They've done a good job there. That's great advertising, great management of advertising. So the designs are so well done that it's quintessentially Google, and you know it's Google. It's clever, isn't it? Google I also appreciate for another reason. I also appreciate Google for the Easter eggs that they still put into their search engines. So that, you know, sometimes you can play Pac-Man in the logo, or if you search for, I think it's cats or something like that, and you then double click on the paw on the screen, there's like a cat thing appears, a little cat paw, and it goes meow and bashes the screen. If you put in Katamari, do you know Katamari the game? Put in Katamari, click on the Katamari logo, and you can play Katamari on the page. Now, why is that one quite important? Well, here's why Katamari is quite important. The reason Katamari is quite important is that style of game where you roll around to get bigger by collecting stuff is licensed, and I hate licensed stuff, to the people who make Katamari. Nobody else can make a game like Katamari, basically. But Google, being Google, have managed to get the licensing so that you can play a variation of Katamari on the page when you search for Katamari. Unbelievable. Really, quite impressive, to be honest with you, even from Google's point of view. I think that's quite good. But I'll be honest, that's what I would call the power of money. I managed to have some dealings with Amazon once, and let's just say, if they want to do something, they'll just do it, and then they'll send you more money to say sorry. It's ridiculous. Sorry, quick sip of coffee there. I love coffee. I'm thirsty. Okay, Finders Keepers, number 6. The Magic Knight wishes to become a member of the Polygon Table. The king has sent him to the dreaded castle of Spriteland to prove his worth, but Magic Knight has a chance and has changed his mind. He has to choose from escaping the castle of Spiritland or collect as much treasure as possible to please the king. You've got to avoid these objects, basically. They're trading objects. This is a very early game. It was a very weird one because it goes from a maze game to a platform game, all in the same space of the same thing. So let's change the keys. Let's do C to change the keys. Let's do up, down, left, right. G to get, D to drop, T to trade, E to examine. Get, drop, trade. They're all in the same location, by the way. Get, drop, trade, examine. That's fine. Perfect. M for the menu. That was one of the first games I bought myself. $1.99. Perfect. There's the king himself. There's the big man. And you've got objects with you. Press E to examine. There's no object to examine there. You've got D for drop, which is to drop your items. We've got a lump of cheese, an Olympic medal, and a chunk of cat meat. How lovely. We've got nobody to trade with and nothing to get. I love this bit. I love the graphics on this, by the way. Looks fantastic. Look at that king. That king was great. Let's have a little look over here. And this, of course, went on to become the Nighttime Saga. Do you remember the Nighttime Saga and the things that went with it? That was great. That was. I'm gonna die. Pixel perfect jumps are in order. Otherwise, you can't get past. And that's not good. Ah! It's not held up as well as I'd like to think this one has. I love it, but it's not held up well. It's not held up as well as I'd like to. Get. Nothing within reach, because I'm not standing over it. Lift. Needlework room, the Wombat's bedroom. There's a very, very, what's it called? Attempt to sort of do a bit of, what was it? Jet Set Willy with it, a bit of. The jump in it is horrendous. See, I have to be like at certain angles, otherwise you can't get up. And the Wombat's bedroom! I remember playing this and I finished it. I'm not sure whether or not I had a map or not. I feel like I probably did. I don't think I was that good to finish it without the. I think that's something to get there, definitely. Nothing within reach. That's definitely something to get, wasn't it? I've just fell off and made a hash of that. I wonder what's in the next room. Is there another room here? It's Puss without boots. Nothing to trade with. Get. What if I put the cat food down? Drop. 3. You like that? Nothing. Can't get that. Oh. Cat didn't do anything. Would have been nice if that was the real exit, wasn't it? Oh, I'm dead. Absolutely dead. No! And I can't get up there. Can't get up there. I've died. I missed even what it said. It said, you rubbish. You rubbish on Finders Keepers. I was rubbish on Finders Keepers there, wasn't I? Could have done better. Yes, you could have done better. You're a naughty boy. Right, okay, next tape. Let's move on to Death Star and Mooncrester. Good shoot-em-ups, actually. Love those games. Love a bit of shoot-em-up action. It's all good. Of course, you got that, what was it, Tony Crowther one there as well. That nice new one. The Red Ring. I'm sure there was a comic book. I'm a big fan of comics. I love a good comic book. It's been a while though since I've read any. I've not really had the time. Been too busy sort of collecting Spectrum stuff. But even that's sort of more and more difficult. I don't know about you if you find this, but it's more and more difficult to find something you haven't already got. There's a lot of stuff out there, but it's finding something you haven't actually got anymore is more difficult than it's ever been. I think we've all sort of. Have we peaked at this point? Does anybody join this later on? Does somebody re-find it? I wonder how many people re-find Spectrum games after the release of the Spectrum at Christmas this time round. I wonder how many people are going to be, sort of want to rejoin the ranks of those of us who still have a Spectrum and still play at our Spectrums. It'd be interesting to see whether they'll want to buy the games just to put on the side and say, yeah, I had Hungry Horace. I'm just thinking what else you'd want, realistically. This is not going to go well. I feel these tapes aren't very good today. We've had one that's loaded and ones that haven't. Give it another try. Come on. You know you want to. No. I think we're going to have to search for this one on the old PlayZX. Or should we try the other tape deck? Yeah, let's give the other tape deck a go. We haven't done that for a while. Let's do that. Let's give the old tape deck a whirl. See if we can get the other tape deck to bring this thing up and see if we can get it to work within the whole context of the thing. And there we go. There we go. Press the play button. Rewind that one. Load it. Let's go for it. See whether we can turn the volume up, whether it's enough. Probably not, to be fair. Lovely cassettes, actually. Couldn't ask for nicer, cleaner cassettes. Nah, it's not having that, is it? No. Definitely not having it. I think we're out of luck this time round with that one. Let's see now. Let's get PlayZX on. This is a game that I think I've got this one. I think it has got a picture of like an X-wing flying at the Death Star. Because, well, why not? It was back in the day they did that quite a lot. Wow, with my new glasses, I can actually see the phone now. That's amazing. Death Star. Ooh. I wonder if it's a rabbit version. There's a rabbit version. Should we go with the rabbit version? See what there is. Rabbit software. I quite like rabbit software. I've got a few of them actually knocking around. Pretty good, actually. Rabbit software, Death Star. Could be that, actually. Looking at the timings. Quite pleased to play Red over Moscow again, though. It's been a while since I played that. Apart from flying out the hangar, which is utterly ridiculous. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Anybody who thinks that flying out the hangar is sensible is mad. Just doesn't make sense. I mean, they've got vertical takeoff, but then they taxi out at speed while sliding sideways. That's not how planes work, you know. That's interesting. Program basic, loader, code and graphics. Okay. It's a different type of loading screen. Got all the information on there. It's going to be a quick load though, apparently. And then we've got Mooncrester. Hopefully that'll load. This will be the code. Maybe. And we'll go from there. So I've been working on converting We've got an old garage. We've got an older house, and it's got a garage that's designed for cars that are minuscule. So I think if you had a old Mini, not a new Mini, you might be able to fit it in there. But if you've got a car of any other sort of size, is that it? Yeah, it is. Cool. Keys. I like the look of this. Oh, it's Kane. Kane. Yeah, the guy did Booty. What's the keys? Oh, it's the curse keys. What's the fire, though? It's cool. There's some Star Wars factors to this. What's the keys, though? If I said cursor joystick and press 4, then that would definitely be. And 0 would be fire. Yeah, 0 is definitely fire. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's fire. Ah! Keep getting shot! 4. Oh, come on! I've got 10 points! I'm crashing to the floor. The ship movement's quite cool, though, because it's like a whole graphical thing for that. It's not the version I was expecting, but I'm liking it. What do you think? It's pretty good. It's not bad for what it is. Yeah, I don't think that's bad, actually. Ah! Pretty good. Rubbish at crashing at the bottom, though. That's what I am. Crashing into any part of it is really just the death of you. I'm just going to stick around here. Not just move left and right. No, that's not working either because they shoot at me. Yeah, that was alright. Wasn't brilliant. It's not going to set the world on fire, but it's alright. Not a bad little shoot 'em up, that one. Different than what we thought we were going to get. I think there's another one which is like got a cavernous sort of runs in it, which is the other version of Death Star. Right, let's press load it, and we'll see if we can get this other game to load. I don't know if it'll load, but we'll give it a try. Give it a fast forward here. No, that's the other game. Old fast forwarding. Pushing the old tape deck. Data recorder. Rather than tape recorder. Data recorder. Wow. Very popular format, to be honest with you. Very, very popular format back in the day. To be fair, tape was very popular for a lot of things. If you actually think about it for a second, you got VHS. You had Betamax. You had lots and lots of things. Moon Cresta. We had lots of things that were on tape. It wasn't uncommon at all. Even, and reels of film that was sort of similar to tape. Moon Cresta. Please load. I'd like it to load. It'd be nice if it loaded. It's a good game, actually, this one. Incentive Software, I think? Yeah, I think it was. Incentive Software. Moon Cresta! No, never going to happen. Moon Cresta is one of those games that's a difficult one to load. I'm going to see if we can find a copy of it that we can load off PlayZX. Well, let's just rewind quickly. Let's see if we can find one on there, because it's one of these games that either does or doesn't, and I think we're better off finding a version that we know is going to work rather than a version that doesn't. So let's have a look at Moon Cresta. Mooncrester. Mooncrester, the re-release, not the original one. The alternative re-release is probably a better version to go with because more likely to load than the other versions. It's a bit of a shame that it's the nature of the thing. That it's another one of those games that was compressed up somehow to try and save space. Now it works fine if you got something that can load it, but again, you're threatening your poor users with games that'll never load. It's just a shame, isn't it? It really is. I don't think I've got the alternative version of Mooncrester. I feel like I need that in my collection. It's like Phoenix. Phoenix is one of the other games. If you want arcade perfection, Mooncrester's one. Phoenix is another one, which is based on the Phoenix game. Even though that they went on to make a Phoenix Returns or Revenge, which you can see on the channel, by the way, which was much better on the 8-bit versions, if you ask me, than it was when it went to the Amiga and the arcade. They turned out to be pretty crappy, really. So yeah, it's not one that we do lose out on a lot of things sometimes. With sometimes versions just get badly done. I see they've re-released Silent Hill 2 recently, and I'm torn because I remember the original, and to be fair, I've already seen graphics that suggest the original PlayStation 2 version actually has better graphics than the new version from Konami, in the sense of the styling was better. None of that surprises me. Really doesn't. It's the care and attention. Nobody gives a crap, do they? They just don't. They're just remaking it for the cash. I might be wrong. Somebody might prove me wrong one of these days, but I'm pretty convinced that not all remakes are worth a remake. See, I wouldn't class the new Doom, for instance, as a remake because it was basically just Doom remade, but in modern style, but without being Doom. Even though it's Doom. I know that sounds ridiculous, but they didn't try and copy the original level design or anything like that. They had the original character sets, yes. They added a bit more violence to it, and they added some 60 frames per second. That's the kind of remake you want. I really don't want people to remake Silent Hill. What I want them to do is make a new Silent Hill with the quality of the previous ones. And it's not going to be there. It's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen. People who are doing that, though, are Capcom, not Konami. Konami were on the way there. Do you remember the PT demo, what it was called, on the PlayStation 4? And that was actually meant to be Silent Hill. It was bloody gorgeous. It was a lovely looking game. Or demo, should I say. Where you sort of walk down the same corridor, and the corridor changed as you walk down it. But you know what? Most people didn't realise you were walking downstairs every time. So as you go around this it was an L shape. So you walk down one of the corridors, then round the corner down to the bottom, and you basically went downstairs, and you basically walk every time you did that sort of walk, you were walking downwards. So it genuinely was it was fantastic. Mooncrester, trip to the space war, Mooncrester. It was actually a continual adventure downwards. Right, keyboard 5. Left, right, fire, H, A, yes. 6 to start the game. Here we go. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Arcade perfect, nearly, this game. Brilliant game. Kind of on the lines of all Space Invaders, Gallagher's, Galaxians, that kind of thing. But of course, this is Mooncrester. Missed him. Come on. One more. Got him. pattern. Up and round, they're doing a figure of 8. So that one's not doing a figure of 8. Got it. Got it. Oh, yes. This is such a great shoot 'em up, by the way. This is one of the best. It is definitely on the spectrum. I highly recommend this one. It's one of my faves. It's not as good at Terra Cresta as the next one. It's not as good as the arcade. It was never going to be. Oh, here we go. Got aim. We got it. Oh, got it! Never done that. Now I got 3 shots. Look, wait for this. I'm unstoppable! Unstoppable! I've got it again? No, blew it up. I've lost the bottom bit as well. I've still got the 2 bits. No, I've got the 1 bit. No! That's nasty. Now I get the 2 bit back, by the way, because I died there. Or do I get the 3 bit? Because I blew it up. 2 bit. Ah. Far out! Have I done it? What have I done now? Oh, don't know. Did well though, I think. Damn! Wasn't watching what I was doing there. This is probably best I've ever played. I managed to blow up the 3rd part, of course, of the ship. Let's move my name along. Yes, it's me. Can I put my full name in? My full special name. I can, look at that. Rub. And then end. Perfect. Excellent. That's brilliant. Yeah. That was so much fun. I really loved that. Let's carry on. Let's see what else is on the tape. We have got the other side, hopefully, with Alien on it next. It's brilliant. That's a great game, by the way. Highly recommend that. If you want a good shoot-'em-up, even now, to this day, I still recommend that. I think that's one of the best shoot-'em-ups I've ever played. On the Spectrum, anyway, certainly. Definitely. Is it one of the best? Do you know what my favourite is? I don't know what your favourite is. You got a favourite shoot-'em-up, right? It can be any shoot-'em-up. From the arcade, and we're talking like one that's like, you know, single screen or you know, scroll along, whatever it is. My favourite that I always go to, and I know that it's really a rip-off of another one, is The Last Resort on the Neo Geo. Now, the reason I like Last Resort on the Neo Geo is it was one of the first sort of big arcade games that I got a chance to play. I never played R-Type in the arcade, so although they're very similar, you've got a little satellite that attaches to the front of your ship that you use. It isn't quite. It isn't quite the same sort of, you know, it isn't quite the sort of the same game, but it's definitely as hard. And I always just thought that I really like Last Resort, especially as one of the weird bits about it is you start by flying through a city, and if you fly very low, you can shoot the cars, and the people fly out the cars and sort of going ah as they fly out the as they fly out the cars. It's just ridiculous. It's unnecessary, but it is quite fun. It is quite fun, but it's basically R-Type, but by Neo Geo and SNK. But it is a good shoot 'em up. It's one of my favourites, and it's one of the ones, you know, with there's many great shoot 'em ups out there. I love shoot 'em ups. Shoot 'em ups are one of my sort of go-to games because the fact is that they are so incredibly easy to pick up and play. But they require a combination of memory and skill for a lot of them. You know, they do require that. So I do think there's some great ones out there. Do you have a favourite? Do you have one that if you had to pick one? Yeah, if you had to pick a shoot 'em up, which would it be? What would it be? If you had to pick up if somebody said to you, you can have an arcade machine with any shoot 'em up you like on it, you know, and we're going to deliver it to your house and it's going to fit in perfectly and nobody's going to mind. Which one are you going for? Huh? Definitely Last Resort for me. I think it's just I just love it too much not to have Last Resort. I think I've become quite the master of Last Resort. I was a very weird person when it came to arcades. I don't know about the rest of you. I wasn't about finishing the game. I was about getting the highest scores. So, for instance, my favourite game was, or one of my favourite games in the arcade was the Snow Brothers. And with the Snow Brothers, I used to go to the arcade. I used to put my 10p in. I used to play as long as I could to get the highest score I could. Because if you put another credit in, it basically wiped out your score and then you just continued on from where you were. Now, yeah, you'd assume that you got more points the further levels you were on. It wasn't true. You were actually much better to actually put a 10p in and play to level 21 and you'd have all the high scores. That was the general thing. Well, certainly where I was. I don't know, there was about 80 levels on it, but that was the best approach. I tell you what was a travesty recently is the remake was pretty crap. There was a remake, and this is where your remakes they would have been better if re-released than the original with a remake. And we'd have all played the original, because the original was much better. In fact, they'd have been better off packaging up Snow Brothers 1, 2 and 3 in a package and selling it to me like that, rather than remaking it because it was crap. Anyway, Angus Press. This one, Alien, right? Now, back in the day when they advertised this, back in, I think was it 1978 or 1979 this came out? I think it was 79. They advertised it by just showing the egg and nothing else. These are the days when you used to advertise things like that, and you didn't have loads and loads of channels on the internet, and you didn't go to the pictures and watch almost the whole bloody movie in a trailer. They just sort of showed the cusp of this terrifying creature type thing that was going to happen. So they showed none of the creature, they showed the egg, and they said, you know, in space nobody can hear you scream. Blooming brilliant, it really was, and it was very much that style. So we got Dallas Kane, Ripley, Ash, Lambert, and Parker and Brett. Parker and Brett are the two engineers on the ship. Lambert is a co-pilot with Ripley. Ash is the onboard android. Kane is, I think he's the doctor, isn't he, or second in command or something similar. And Dallas is the captain. You can have a long game, short game. I think it's 3. It gives you the introduction. Oh, and then Fort Select. Basically, it shows what's going on, subject indicator, grill open, and it gives you the sounds as well. It's really quite good. Positive tracker sound. So basically, the Alien from 1979, one of the greatest movies you'll ever see. That and Star Wars, the original ones, not before they got murdered by somebody at Disney. But Star Wars and Alien, some of the greatest movies you'll ever see. They literally were simple, not simple, but scary and terrifying. One creature, not that many things killing you, nothing exploding. Just really well designed, great corridors and scary stuff, and it was really good. So yeah, it great thing. Is this the movie where this is it? There's I don't know whether this is rumour or true, but apparently Sigourney Weaver, who played Ripley, refused to pull up her underwear to a certain height, and somebody got paid $5,000 to airbrush out her pubic hair. That was a job back in the day, apparently. So, that's a new one for you. But, yeah, Miss Weaver refusing to shave and refusing to do whatever else, I think it's perfectly reasonable. It would have been a totally different thing, though, when we got to the end of the movie and there was a lot of bush there, as well as Alien. He could have hidden in that bush, couldn't he? Anyway. certainly by what they're describing with $5,000 worth of bush removal. Anyway, such a tangent. Let's just stay away from that one. Right, back to the game. Keyboard, yeah, we'll press 5 to select. Up, down, fire, return to quit. That's all we need to do. Right. So basically, you've got all of these people. You can choose them. So I can choose to be Dallas. And I'm in Dallas. Where am I currently? Indicate location. No, that's not where I am. It's a tactical game. I move to the upper deck. Lower deck. Okay. That's the location of things. How do I move them? I can't remember how you move them. It's like you're a computer doing it. Do you know, there's a new game. There's a game that's been out for a while called Duskers. And Duskers is very much... there we go, Lambert. Short game. You can only have certain people in a short game. Right, okay. So I can do something with Lambert. Right, okay. Ripley's there and Parker's there. Right, okay. You can remove grill. There's nothing to get. Move to corridor 1. Yep. Yeah, she's in corridor 1 now. Let's move to the infirmary. It's okay and stable. Nothing to get. Move to corridor 1 again. Yeah, it's very much like Duskers. You kind of controlling them without seeing them. It's actually, I think it's pretty creepy for what it is. I do think that this is, we're trying to survive the alien. Make sure that it doesn't kill us. It's creeping around the corridor somewhere. The living quarters are up, I think. This is the Nostromo, which is a great name for a ship, by the way. Yes, corridor. Let's look in the rec area. See what's in the rec area. Living quarters, mess. Something on board. There's no item to get, though. It says use item. Get item. Oh, no, there are items to get. Blooming heck. Should have got some items as we've been going. So we're exploring. Looking for... Oh, we can blow the hatches, look. Let's go in the store. Wonder if there's anything good in the store. Ah! Jones the cat. Oof. Spanner. Take the spanner. Corridor 6. So yeah, very scary. Duskers is very much like that. You're alone by yourself in space. Mother, the computer. No. I didn't want to leave the item. I want to get the item. Get the spanner. Right. Store 2. Beside Mother. There's no item to pick up in there, I don't think. No specials there. Move to computer. Yeah, so it's Duskers basically is a similar sort of vein. I'm not going to continue playing because we could be here for a while and we haven't met the alien yet. But if I do quit, we can go back to who is here? Brett's there. Was it Brett? Parker. Parker's there. Can you get an item, Parker? Ah, incinerator. Look. Get item, the tracker. So he can hear the track. He can track the alien now. If he hears it, that is. Go to corridor 2. I think you can go down from corridor 2. Let's see if we can go downwards. Yeah, cartology's downstairs. Cargo, sorry. Cargo pod 2. I don't know why I said yeah. We can hear it. That could have been the cat, though. Sees Jones the cat. Shuttlebay. You can just finish it, by the way, by jumping out on the cat. Engineering. It's really creepy, actually. I'm actually sitting here quite nervous that I'm going to run into this alien now. It's only so many spaces it can be in. Oh, no, that's enough. I've had enough. But yeah, just because it's a bit like that, it's a bit creepy. You see the world through the eyes of drones, and you see... depending on their visual sort of representations that they can see, you can see the world has been damaged and destroyed in some way, but you're not sure. Mr. Freeze, you're not sure why the world's been destroyed in the way it's been destroyed. It's really quite, honestly, it's quite nerve-wracking. Realistically, I don't know. I mean, I'm tempted though. Oh, he's got the Infinite Lives version. Anyway, it's when I like the way he's put these little bits at the beginning to load them. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, I do like a little bit of a horror thing, especially as we're in October now. Of course, spooky season is upon us, and the new Terrifier movie is coming out shortly, which I found hilarious. If you've not seen the Terrifier, If you don't like gory things, don't watch it. But if you remember the visual effects we used to have back in the 80s, give it a blast. It's extremely gory. It's very visual effects. It's very much the way they used to make movies. And the best part about that is that the kids of nowadays have never seen this before. And because they haven't seen this before, they're all apparently in the United States, they're all puking in the aisles and vomiting because it's so violent and gory. And we lived through it all from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. We had movies like that, but they started to add more CGI from about 95 onwards. I blame. To be fair, you know what CGI came from for me? That sort of a little bit of a blame, little bit of Independence Day. Do you remember Independence Day? Very early sort of CGI mixed with visual effects. That is probably where CGI started to happen, and then they made that blood for horror movies because it was cheaper than doing the old the real effects, and because that became the norm. You know the difference. I think as a human being, you know the difference between. You know the difference between. The fake sort of CGI stuff and the real stuff. I think you do. I think genuinely as human beings we know the difference between it. So when you watch these things and you see these things nowadays, or at least modern CGI ones, it's just rubbish. It is. It's just rubbish. You look at it and go, oh God. That's dreadful. I mean, I don't know if anybody's seen the new, not the not the Godzilla -1, but the latest Kong movie, which has got Godzilla in it again. And it's so CGI, it's just garbage. It just makes me want to vomit. It's like there's no effort involved in this anymore. Yeah, you think there's poor CGI artists, probably they've got some effort involved in it, and I think maybe I'm being a bit harsh to them by saying there's no effort involved in it. But there isn't. They're just gone, make Kong do some fighting moves. In a very, very Birmingham accent for a start off. You know, that's exactly how it works. If you're thinking, You're thinking right now. You're thinking Red Dwarf and the things that go with that. But that's exactly what happened. It's exactly how it goes. It's just rubbish. It really is. Right. Let's see if we can work out how to play the key. What keys it is. Left and right. I wonder what's up and down is. What's shoot? Okay, what's up? By the way, that bullet is awesome. Look at it, how good that is. That's a lovely bit of graphic. What's up? Ah, shit. Right. Oh, right, okay, these are... She'll get crap keys. Is that really the case? Those are really the keys? Ah, right, they're not so bad once I realised where they were. So it's QA up and down, ZX and C. Now I've got to move over this way because it shoots. It always goes that way. How do I jump? Oh, there's a way to jump. You have to push a certain button to jump, don't you? Is it space? It's space. Space jumps. It's really weird, this. So, okay, so we've got this laser thing that comes down here like that. Ah! It always shoots when you do that. Yeah, across here. Got killed. You've just got to de-iced all places. Only 7 places, by the way. 7 screens. It was a cheap game at the time. He's got a little block around him to make sure that it doesn't get any colour clash. Which is always exciting. Always a bit exciting for a man to get a bit of uncolour clash. Oh, gone the wrong way. What's this button do? What's this button do? What's this button do? It breaks my freeze. That's hilarious. Wow, I forgot how tough it was. Actually, it's not a bad game, but it's pretty tough. It was a budget title. I mean, we can't expect any more than that. I think it's 5-7 levels or something similar. Oh, look at the robot. It's cool. Now let's move right the way across. Frozen pizzas. D-Ash 5. Let's have a little look. Pretty convinced there's only this is infinite lives, by the way, so I can keep going forever basically. DI6, and I think that's it because it says left and right. Look on the screen. There's an arrow, so that's it. So there's only 6 screens to it all. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh my god. Yeah, you'd have to come from the level before. You'd have to walk in from the level before if you want to do it. I wonder if I can shoot the rope. Well, that's crap. Wow. Oh, shot myself again. Loads of lives. I want to kill the robot. No, you can't kill the robot. You can just pause him, which is rubbish because you're not going to get past that, are you? Well, he's just walk into me. There we go. Taste turned into an icicle by them. Anyway, I've been your host, Real Genetic Demon. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'll see you soon. Bye now.